Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our technical English lesson. This is our second lesson on sensors. In our last class, we defined what sensors are. We also identified three types of sensors used in crash test dummies. In this lesson, we have three objectives. Number one is to identify 5 types of forces by matching diagrams with their descriptions. Number 2 is to find out 5 synonyms of given phrases after reading an article about crash test dummies. And the last objective is to write definitions of 6 phrases by expanding the compound nouns. Now, let's take a look at our keywords. Our keywords for today's lesson are different types of forces. Number one is compression. Compression is squeezing or pressing together. Number two is tension. Tension is stretching or pulling apart. Number three is bending. Bending is squeezing one side and stretching the other side. Number four is shear. Shear is sliding in opposite directions. And the last one, which is number 5, is torsion, is twisting. Now, let's go to our first task, which is a matching exercise about our keywords. Open your course books to page 71. The task says, match the diagrams with A, the names of the forces, B, their descriptions. First, we should match the diagrams to the names of the forces here: bending, compression, shear, tension, and torsion. Then we should match them to the description of the names of the forces here: squeezing or pressing together, sliding in opposite directions, stretching or pulling apart, twisting, and finally squeezing one side and stretching the other side. Let's do number 1 together, and you should do the rest by yourselves. We can have a table like this. So, what is the name of the force in this diagram? Yes, it is compression. What's the description? Is squeezing or pressing together. Now, pause the video and do the rest. Okay, let's check our answers. Number 2 is tension, which is stretching or pulling apart. Number 3 is bending, which is squeezing one side and stretching the other side. Number 4 is shear, which is sliding in opposite direction. And the last one is torsion, which is twisting. Very good. Now, let's move on to the language we'll discuss in this lesson. It is noun plus noun combinations. This is when we combine nouns to form a compound noun. They are very common in technical English. For example, acceleration sensors, sensors which measure acceleration. You can see that we have 2 nouns here: acceleration and sensors. And acceleration acts as a describing word for the kind of sensors. Another example is vehicle crash tests. Tests which crash a vehicle to measure its safety. We have three nouns here: vehicle crash tests. And vehicle crash describe the kind of tests. Another example, a side impact crash dummy. A dummy which measures the impact from the side in a crash. We have four nouns: side, impact, crash, and dummy. Side impact crash describe the kind of dummy. So you can see that nouns can often act as adjectives and come before the noun they are describing, like what we have here. Acceleration is acting as an adjective here to describe the kind of noun, the kind of sensors, and it comes before the noun it is describing. Good. You can also see that more than two nouns can be put together, like what we have in this example and this example. Now, let's move to our next task, task 7 on the same page. Find phrases in the article in 5 which mean the same as these. The article in 5 is this one here. So we need to find phrases in this article which mean the same as these ones. And all the words in the phrases must be nouns. That is, they must be noun plus noun combinations. Now, let's do number 1 together, and you should do the rest by yourselves. Now, here, number 1 is forces which pull something apart. So we have to find a phrase in this article that mean the same as forces which pull something apart, and the phrase must have all nouns, and it is tension forces, which is from here. So you do the rest. Even before you look at the article, you can guess what the phrases are. Pause the video and do the task. Now, let's check our answers. Sensors which detect movement or motion. Motion sensors. Number 3, deflection of the side of the chest. Side chest deflection. Crashes which are caused by an impact from the front. Front impact crashes. A dummy which is used for testing the impact of a crash from the front. A front impact crash test dummy. Now that we've seen different nouns plus noun, different noun plus noun combinations, we can take another step. That is to expand phrases. So in this task, it says expand these phrases. These ones, you can change words and add information. As you can see, number 1 has been done for us. A gas flow meter is a meter which measures the flow of gas, or is a meter for measuring the flow of gas. Now you can see that to do this task, you need to remember your present simple, like it is used here, which measures. And you need to remember this form, for verb plus ing. That is for plus verb in with ing. And finally, you need to also remember your defining relative clause to define the phrase. Good. So we will do number 2 together, and you should do the rest by yourselves. Now, an engine speed dial. So it's a dial, okay, which shows the engine speed, or it's a dial for showing the engine speed. It's a dial for showing the engine speed, or it's a dial which shows the engine speed. Now pause the video and give the rest a try. Now let's take our answers. A tire pressure gauge is a gauge which measures tire pressure. A base volume indicator is an indicator for showing base volume. An air pressure sensor is a sensor which detects air pressure. A fuel intake port is a port for allowing fuel to enter into the engine. Now, this is the end of the lesson, but let's sum up. We've identified 5 types of forces. We've also seen that nouns can act as adjectives and come before the noun they are describing in a noun plus noun combination. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll be with me in our next class. And don't forget to do your homeworks on Teams. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.